Overnight, XRP soars above $10,000, and the financial industry is in complete disarray. Charts are erupting in green, prices have broken records, and traders are suddenly experiencing things they previously believed were impossible. As banks rush to acquire XRP at a pace and scale that has shocked markets worldwide, they are selling fiat like there is no tomorrow. This isn't some fringe story, it's not hype, and it's not supposition. In response to a worldwide liquidity crisis that has placed established financial systems in a state of chaos, this is real-time institutional panic purchasing. As banks rush to maintain liquidity, stabilize operations, and guarantee payments can take place in a world where traditional rails have crumbled under duress. Every major fiat currency is being transferred, reallocated, and transformed into XRP. The spike didn't happen gradually, rather it happened all at once, and it has revealed weaknesses that have been there for decades, but have been disregarded by regulators, experts, and ordinary traders. Long hailed as a bridge currency that could facilitate quick and inexpensive cross-border transactions, XRP has now demonstrated its full potential. In a sea of collapsing financial infrastructure, it is the only lifeboat still in operation. Once mocking cryptocurrency, banks are now stockpiling XRP as a major reserve and transferring trillions of dollars in fiat into the XRP ledger, therefore transforming a speculative asset into a vital tool for international banking. While analysts are frantically trying to explain the spike, the truth is straightforward. Institutions must take action when liquidity runs out, and XRP is the only digital asset that can manage the volume, speed, and compliance standards required to avert a disastrous collapse. The global liquidity crisis has compelled a significant change in the way money moves across countries, financial institutions, and markets. It is not a far-flung tale. Overnight, XRP transformed from a potential but underappreciated digital asset to the main conduit for international financial flows. While the old financial system struggles to meet the enormous demands, investors who recognize the fundamental technology and utility of XRP have been vindicated beyond belief. They have watched as the largest banks in the world have secured their positions by converting trillions of dollars in fiat into XRP. This spike, this $10,000 price threshold, is a consequence of institutional necessity rather than a bubble or a pump. The reason the banks are buying is not speculation. Rather, it is the failure of the global settlement system, the inability of central banks to keep up with the speed of contemporary financial markets, and the inability of fiat to move quickly enough. The outcome is an unprecedented surge in demand for XRP, which is happening in front of our very eyes. Markets are undergoing unprecedented volatility, and conventional exchanges are finding it difficult to handle the volume. Because XRP is quick, effective, and well-known worldwide, financial institutions are rushing to use it as payment rails that were formerly dependable are suddenly congested, creating panic. The extent of institutional adoption is unprecedented in the cryptocurrency market, and it is occurring overnight, leaving retail traders frantically readjusting their positions as the price surged above $10,000. Although media sources are scrambling to report on the disarray, the scope of the institutional exodus is simply too great for headlines to adequately convey. Trillions of dollars are actually being moved by banks, and each transaction raises the price, causing a vicious cycle of panic purchasing and demand growth. The story is straightforward. XRP is the only workable substitute that can continue to move money across borders without interference after the previous banking system failed. This is not a tale of conjecture, rather, it is one of survival, necessity, and a global network of organizations coming to the realization that XRP is the answer they had been ignoring for years. The unusual activity is being documented by traders, analysts, and cryptocurrency fans on social media, and the XRP army is rejoicing as the principles they have defended for years now demonstrate their value in the most dramatic and concrete way imaginable. The speed and scale of XRP adoption has utterly overwhelmed traditional monetary policies and liquidity plans, leaving governments and authorities frantically trying to comprehend the situation. Even though central banks are considering emergency measures, they acknowledge that the network of XRP is now essential to the stability of the world economy. Unprecedented levels of transaction velocity, adoption size, and liquidity depth are needed, signifying a turning point in both traditional and cryptocurrency finance. The price increase is just exacerbated by each fiat currency that banks convert into XRP. Furthermore, there's no indication that the buying will slow down as the global liquidity crisis worsens. In a world where old systems have failed, XRP has evolved into more than just a bridge currency. It is now a crucial layer of infrastructure that guarantees the continued continuation of trade, business, and financial settlements. Although analysts are working feverishly to update reports, risk models, and market estimates, the magnitude of this event just defies conventional measurements. A perfect storm is being created by institutions making decisions based on survival rather than speculation, which is driving XRP into the stratosphere. Overnight, a new reality has supplanted the story of XRP as a specialized cryptocurrency asset. It serves as the foundation of a new financial order, is vital for international liquidity, and is crucial for banks negotiating a failing fiat system. The pace at which banks are converting fiat into XRP indicates that further greater levels are, quite honestly, inevitable. And retail investors are seeing a real-time reworking of financial history as $10,000 XRP becomes the baseline rather than the pinnacle. The media is describing it as a shock to the system, but in reality, this is the inevitable result of years of undervaluing XRP's potential. Every fresh block, ledger settlement, and bank switch to XRP just serves to support the idea that this is the new reality of international banking, and not simply hype. Insiders are aware that this has been developing for months, with XRP being positioned as the sole digital asset that can withstand the strain of collapsing traditional liquidity channels. Despite market analysts' hasty attempts to portray it as a sudden boom, institutions are now being forced to pay the price of inaction because of the XRP ledger's speed, transparency, and compliance characteristics, which have made it indispensable. Massive purchasing pressure is, well, sending XRP skyrocketing to $10,000 in a single day. Social emotion has therefore suddenly surged. Stories about banks converting billions, exchanges finding it difficult to keep up, and regular traders realizing they were early adopters of the one cryptocurrency asset that truly matters when fiat systems fail are all over forums, Twitter feeds, and message groups. In order to take into consideration what is now indisputable, financial experts are being compelled to update every narrative, white paper, and market report. The global financial system is literally held together in real time by XRP. Since they honestly didn't care about XRP, central banks, hedge funds, and other institutional players are suddenly rushing to get supplies, which is only making the spike worse. The institutional panic purchasing feedback loop is speeding up the price trajectory more quickly than any other cryptocurrency event we've ever witnessed. XRP is now absolutely necessary and no longer optional. All of the fiat money that banks are pouring into XRP boosts the price and network liquidity, and firmly establishes it as the most trustworthy bridge currency in the world. Many thanks for listening. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to click the subscribe button. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.